With market pressure to raise rates and political pressure to lower them, the Bank of Canada has decided to maintain at 5% for the rest of the year. Now here we are. What does this mean for people's investments? What does this mean for people's homes? And what does this mean for our economy as a whole? Bank of Canada holds its key interest rates at 5% in final decision of 2023. The Bank of Canada once again held its key rates steady at 5% on Wednesday, today, encouraged by evidence that higher rates are helping bring inflation down. Are they really? Really, are we looking at a market where inflation is down? You tell me. You tell me in the comments down below. Are things getting cheaper for you? A lot of times, a lot of the cases when it comes for groceries, packaged goods, things like that, we have prices actually maintaining while they just, you call it shrinkflation, when they actually give you less product. And this is another thing that we're all suffering from. Now, I put this out on Twitter today, unpopular opinion, but the Bank of Canada needs to raise the rates much higher, but are caving to political pressure. We've seen pressure from the premiers across the country saying directly to the Bank of Canada, please lower the interest rates. We need to keep real estate moving because our entire economy is based on real estate at this moment. But then they also have pressure coming from the feds. The pressure coming from the feds is a little different because of the new rules that they're putting on mortgages. They're basically relaxing the lending standards. They're making it so people don't have to go through a stress test on the next time that they have to renew their mortgage. And amortization rates through the roof. Just back end those mortgages as long as you can, hopefully with the hopes that eventually these rates will go down. But it unfortunately is the case that it's largely the housing market itself that needs to come down. And until those prices come down, I think rates are going to stay up. Our economy needs a Band-Aid rip. There are far too many malinvestments, and a lot of these malinvestments are in real estate, unfortunately, for all those people out there that are invested in this, whether it's an investment property or it's just your home that you want to live in. The capital needs to be liquidated. Keeping the rates at 5% is just prolonging the pain. A lot of people who thought that they should be homeowners were not fit to be homeowners in a market such as this, a speculative market that's a boom market. It's a bubble. And a lot of in these scenarios, and I hate to say this, but in these scenarios, a lot of people need to get out of the real estate market, get into the rental market, which is really tough at the moment as well, until the market rates come down. But that's not being helped. Now, where do I get these ideas? I got these ideas from reading a lot of books that were inspired, books that were recommended to me by this gentleman here. This is Ron Paul, congressman from the United States of America. And he was, after the '08 crash, him and this other guy, Peter Schiff, they were able to accurately predict what was happening with the market in the United States, and accurately predicted the crash of '08. Right down to they were talking about it a week before, and nobody would take them seriously. Well, let's just have a little listen to Peter Schiff on the news. This is from Sunday, December 31st in '06.
Home prices up 10% in the coming year. Peter, what do you say?
Well, today's home prices are completely unsustainable. They were bid up to these artificial heights by a combination of temporarily low adjustable rate mortgage payments, by a complete, absence of any lending standards, and by speculative buying. And what's going to happen in 2007 is a lot of these artificially low ARM payments are going to be reset upward. You're going to start to see both the government and the lenders reimposing lending standards and tightening up on credit, and you're going to see a lot of the speculative buyers turn into sellers, and these sky-high real estate prices are going to come crashing back down to earth. And there's no way to stop it other than the Federal Reserve creating so much inflation that rather than real estate prices collapsing, the price of everything else goes through the roof. And so I say it really doesn't mean much if your townhome is worth $1 million if it costs you $500 to fill up your refrigerator.
Okay, so your word is sharply.
And of course, they laughed at him. This is Sunday, December 31st, again, '06, where you know, they had him on longer and talking with some of the other pundits.
Yeah, with no documentation, putting nothing down, getting negative amortization, interest-only mortgages. They're buying homes they can't afford. They're speculating on appreciation.
Hold on. Interest-only mortgages there's nothing wrong with them because you're paying the interest, you're not losing money on it. But the key thing to look at is net income growth. If net income growth is going up and interest rates are staying the same, and we have no inflation right now, there's no reason for it to go up. You're going to see prices go up again.
Yeah, a lot of people who did that made a lot of money on their return on investment. They made a lot of money.
Wait. Last word to Peter.
Most of the profits that people have in real estate are going to vanish, just like the profits in the dot-coms in 1999-2000. It's a fantasy. People can't sell their house. The inventories are exploding all over the country. Houses are on the market for 6 months a year. There's no bidders. The prices are going to fall through the floor. You guys are deluding yourself.
We heard it loud.
Is this something that's happening in Canada now? I'll leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, because this sounds eerily reminiscent. Now, there is not inventories going exploding. There are inventories that are hanging around the market. In fact, lots of right in the town that I live in, which is a bustling, booming part of the real estate economy, is looking pretty stagnant at the moment. Not a lot of people wanting to buy in because they see that the prices possibly could be coming down. So it's not exactly a seller's market at the moment. But this is what I've been talking about: malinvestment. So not a lot of people understand this concept, so I just wanted to put it out there. This actually comes from the Austrian business cycle theory. Austrian School of Economics. Ludwig Mises was from Austria, so he's the guy who originally founded this School of Economics. Malinvestments are badly allocated business investments resulting from artificially low interest rates for borrowing and an unsustainable increase in money supply. Central banks are often blamed for causing malinvestments, such as the dot-com bubble and the United States housing bubble. Hey, guess what? Possibly the Canadian housing bubble as well. This is where we're at with this. I'll leave this in the description down below. This is an article from the Mises Institute talking about malinvestments and things like that. I'm going to scroll down to a point in here that makes a lot of sense for this video in particular. First of all, in a central banking system with fiat currency, which we exist in, the link between real savings and supply of loanable funds is very loose. Therefore, the link between real savings by both customers and business people and the pool of funds available for business investment is equally loose. In such a system, businesses that invest in new projects may not, in fact, be engaging in the truly productive expenditures. This will not be evident ex ante, but will become painfully clear ex post when the investments have to be liquidated. What appears to be capital creation reveals itself to be capital consumption. Also, one might call the two dimensions of erroneous investment that characterize a typical credit-driven business cycle malinvestment and overinvestment. Austrians have explained for the former very well. Malinvestment occurs due to misleading relative price signals, and it necessitates a corrective contraction. Now, this describes our housing market to a T, actually. There's not a lot of people that are looking into this as houses being a consumption item, but houses have always been a consumption item. Yes, real estate, the property that it sits on could be an investment into the future, but people have been bidding up the prices of houses. This is really the largesse of this economy. I mean, TV shows have even been made about people buying and flipping homes. It's been a real frenzy in the marketplace, and this is largely the reason why I stayed out of the housing market entirely. I've been watching this since roughly 10 years ago when I was reading these books and looking at why these guys were so accurately predicting the crash of 2008. Now here's a little jest here, an actual photo of the Liberal NDP affordable housing. Young people in Canada looking for a nice 1-bedroom, 0-bath starter home. Of course, looking at tents for those that are listening to the audio only. This was someone here, Royce Souther on Twitter, in reply to my video talking about Jagmeet Singh, whose economic policy is, hey, why don't we just build cheaper homes? Why don't we just stop making those expensive ones and just make cheap ones? Wouldn't that be smart? Now, this is eerily reminiscent of what's happened in the United States, largely because this is malinvestments due to low interest rates. Now, the government has been doing the same thing, investing in tons and tons of government expenditures, bidding up our debt, national debt, in the same exact way, hoping that interest rates would stay low forever. Here's Justin Trudeau being asked about this years ago.
Regardless of what that figure is exactly, future governments are going to have to carry that debt. The servicing costs on that are going to be very high.
Sorry?
The servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry, that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
Okay, but it's still a lot of money.
No.
It's still a lot of money.
No.
And you don't know where. Okay, but how are you going to pay for that? How are you going to pay for those costs in future years? Are you going to increase taxes, or are you going to cut programs?
Okay.
Spoiler, he didn't cut programs, he increased the programs. He didn't have an answer for how he's going to pay for it if interest rates went up, because he didn't believe that they ever would go up. And now, we have these new taxes, the carbon tax and all these other new taxes to pay. Is it paying for global warming? No, it's paying for all of the stuff that he spent his money on. And it's really ridiculous. But here's another clip from Tokyo Rosie. She put this up there a while back on Twitter. But this is a video of Christia Freeland bragging about the same stuff.
One of the things that makes this affordable for us
2020
is interest rates are at historic lows. And to give you a sense of just how low they are and how affordable it makes this support of Canadians and Canadian businesses, the interest rate service charges that the Government of Canada is paying today are at 100-year lows relative to the size of our GDP, notwithstanding the extent of our spending. So we are spending less to pay for our debt than we have, not just in my lifetime, but in my dad's lifetime. That's really significant.
Wow, isn't that special. You could just spend all the money you want because it's super low. Well, guess what? It jumped up. And in fact, it needs to jump up even higher for these malinvestments to be reeled in is what needs to happen. Liquidation has to occur, and then that capital needs to flow into the hands of other people that will, invest it into industry that will actually make stuff, actual capital, not consumption items, which the government is largely putting it into. If you look at what the government's been spending on, it's spending on consumption. We're consuming capital in this country, and it's not something that we can continue to do. Where have we heard this before? Oh yeah, right here.
Waiting for what, the better part of 2 years for a complete collapse, right?
Well, you're not going to have to wait too much longer. Look, people had to wait a while before.
Broken clock, you might be right, but we've been waiting for this big collapse. Hasn't happened.
Look, it's just starting. Interest rates on these adjustable rate mortgages, people have taken out
You wouldn't
mortgages.
touch real estate, you're touching it with
interest rates are like, you can get for less than 6%, you can get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. What's the matter with that? That's historic low.
But people have adjustable rate mortgages that are much lower. They're going to reset it twice what they can afford.
All right, well, why don't you bring it outside?
They're going to reset at twice what they can afford. Is that really that hard to understand? A lot of people are struggling with this one. Some people even commenting that I'm being callous. I'm being empathetic to people that got into this market. Of course, I'm empathetic to people who got into this market. I've been telling people for years, maybe not on this channel, but a lot of people have been telling for years. Like I said, the reason why I never got into this housing market, 10 years I've been back in Canada since I lived in Japan, and I didn't get into the housing market because I saw it as a bubble. When townhomes were $400,000 in my town, I thought that was crazy and it wouldn't last. Of course, I wish I could time these things. I would have made a lot of money if I would have bought in then, sold last year. But at this point, anyone left holding the bag is really just that. They're left holding the bag. This market is going to go down. Do with what you want. I'm not giving any financial advice on this channel, but I am just making my observations on where Canada's economy is. And this is more than just the housing market if we continue to go down this road. If we actually get what the premiers want and bring interest rates down, this could turn into a currency crisis. This could be the end of the Canadian dollar. That is really not good for everybody, not just the people who are invested in real estate. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. We'll be talking about this more tomorrow morning with Marty up north. So tune into that. It'll be a longer discussion than this video alone. So we'll see you in that one. Keep on trucking.